Hey guys and gals, it's me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and we have an update on the Goofy Cart 2. I've been working on the front end, and I decided to split the spring, and so that's the way that's going to be. I haven't done anything with it other than taking the two pieces apart. And I haven't done anything with a perch. What I've been working on mainly is the front axle. And this is pretty much mocked up here now. You can see we have it welded back together in the middle. And we have our kingpin bosses and we have our kingpin stuck down in there. And obviously it's got to be cut down to length. And this washer here will get welded on the top. And somewhere, probably on this leading edge or maybe the back edge, I don't know, I'm going to drill a hole and put an Allen key in there that will hold the spindle mount solid onto the kingpin, keep the kingpin from sliding out, and also keep the kingpin from spinning inside of the spindle mount, because the spindle now turns on the kingpin itself. The kingpin will turn inside of this part right here. You know, that's why it has bushings up in there. And you can see now the way I have decided to do, sorry for the shaky cam, my hands are getting shaky, it's getting late, it's 8 o'clock and time for me to go in and eat supper. My tie rod is coming out from the front. I discovered, and no, that's not the final iteration, this is just sitting there for mock-up so you can get an idea. Found out that my tie rod ends are metric. I thought they were 9/16 or 3/8 rather, but they turned out to be metric, so the sleeves that I was going to use inside of the tube won't work. I'll have to find a metric one. But that's okay. And we also, and both sides are done, you know. Both of our tie rod links are stuck on out there. And yeah. And we have here our, oh, I don't know what they call them. They call them a steering arm, I guess. Steering arm that goes to our drag link, which comes back here and will hook up to the pitman arm, which will be off of the steering box shaft. And that's what will work our steering. And of course, we don't have our spindles mounted yet, but that's how they're going to go on there like that. These are 1/2-inch bolts here, and that's the size that will work with the bearings that work inside of these wheels down here. But I'm going to wait till I get some grade 8 bolts before I weld them on, and I think they'll be sufficient to hold up. But yeah, a lot of work. These are all individual pieces that were welded on, and I ground the welds on the top side where you'll see it, but on the bottom side I left the weld exposed for more strength. And of course there'll be a little more cleaning up yet. These were all mostly galvanized parts. What I used to make these tie rod links were, well, I can show you actually. I could show you right up here. See that black piece right there? Yeah, that's for garage door opener. That's the link that ties the door to the track. And that's exactly what those are, 1/4-inch steel. So they're pretty hefty. And it's nice, they're all pre-drilled, so it gives it kind of a custom look. And for down in here on our tie rod, it also affords me, if I really need to, I can change my distance here, I can bring this back here or whatever. But beyond, and the same thing as well for the drag link, but it gives it kind of a cool machine look, you know, lightened, but it's still strong. So that's where we're at today. I'm not sure if I'll get out here tomorrow or not. If I do, my next chore is to start working on mounting the springs. And I found that the spring I'm going to use up front here, if I can get it off without knocking everything all over the place. Woohoo! I found a sleeve that just fits inside of this spring. And a 3/8 bolt slides inside of there. And it's a perfect fit. So the hangers that I will use, the shackles actually, will match up to that, more or less. And I have to work it out so that I have a parallel section on my wishbone here. And I'll probably want to be a little bit bigger around than this, so I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do for this part, and then this will hook onto it, you know, back here, and obviously it will have to come back at an angle before it hooks back on back here. And of course this will get a tie rod end back here where it'll hook into the frame. So yeah, that gives you an idea where we're headed with the suspension. This is very near to being identical to standard Ford front end, like I said on, I think it was one of my earlier videos. But this is called a suicide front end because the spring is behind the axle, and also because it is hanging off the front of the frame on a single point. And that's what this will be. This will be our spring perch once I get it cut down to length. And then the spring will get bolted down to this. And I suppose somewhere along the line I might want to put some shocks on it. But we'll see what the budget allows and what comes forth in my scavenging and what I find on eBay. I'm still not sure about the rear suspension. Probably I don't even want to talk about it. I'm still thinking about these spring shocks in front of a bicycle. They'd probably be sufficient. And I'm contemplating using the other half of that buggy spring in the back, which would be very cool. But we'll see. One thing at a time. I'm working on getting the front end done first and getting it hung on here so I can put the wheels on it. And then I will go from that point. I may actually work on getting the motor all hooked up next. And we are going to use the swing around the other side here. I am going to use this 90-degree angle converter that Mr. Heavy Chevy sent me. And the way this is going to work is it's going to go on this way, like this, because, like this, I should say. And so there'll be a belt. Let's see if I can do this here. Get this sit down over here. Will it stay there? No, it's not evenly. There we go. This little belt here, or one similar to it, will go from here to the motor, like that. And as far as that goes, I'm thinking out loud here. As far as that goes, I could probably mount that down, cut the hole in the frame there and mount it right down and have the clutch underneath. And that way the belt that goes from the clutch, that's the clutch down there, the centrifugal clutch right there. Yep. Had a bear of a time getting the other pulley off. I haven't tried pulling this one off, but we got it off finally. But the pulley will go, the belt will go from there to the bottom of the transmission, which will have this pulley on it, which is the factory pulley that came on it. And that way it will get everything transferred over till we finally put the sprocket on here and run it back by chain from there to the rear end. But if I get my front end, this part up in here all done, then I can work on figuring out my rear axle. I can't figure out my rear axle until I know exactly how my drive system is going to go. And then I'll work on the rear axle from that point. So we'll see. That belt's a little bit too small, in case somebody's going to tell me, George, that belt's way too small. I realize that. But that's the belt that came off of the old Viking Power over there. And I was looking for a short belt, and I didn't have one short enough, but that's just about the right length. Just needs to be fatter. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. And so we're making progress. I've probably been working 8 hours today. I put in a full day trying to get this front end done. I really want to get this done. I've been thinking about it, and I've had interruptions, and I didn't get out to the shop at all yesterday, and even today I was out here working, and I had to drop what I was doing and run up to Rochester and pick up 2 lawnmowers that I showed you previously that I got off Craigslist. But I'm not complaining, because that's what's going to help to fund our project. So, and I am going to be taking the motor off of this, and well, I shouldn't say take it off of it. I'm going to cut the blower off the front and take the handle off the back. And this has a gear reduction on it. See that gear reduction right there? Which means that it would run real slow. And I could, this already has the, that is my wife calling me to let me know that my supper is ready. She told me 15 minutes. Time to come in, please. Okay, dear. I'll be right in. This already has the clutch set up on it, which is this rod right here. And the way it worked was to pull back and tighten that belt. And then it has the gear right there. So I could set that up. All I'd have to do is reconfigure the lever and hook it to a pedal. I already have the axle there. I would extend the axle out, put a little bit bigger tires on it. And, well, actually, I don't even need that sprocket because the drive is right here. It's already hooked up on the back side. The chain has an adjustment on it. It's a little sloppy right now, but I can adjust that up. So yeah, that's a whole drive system right there. And just get rid of the auger on the front. Take the handles off the back. And some of you may remember quite a while back, almost last summer now I'm thinking, I was talking about another project called the Gosling. And you can see it back in there, that pink thing, and it's got an extended fork coming out the front, a little small tire on the front. Yep, well, I was going to use an electric motor for something, and this way it would be a gas-powered motor, and it's something I think that my grandson, my youngest grandson out here, is autistic. Actually, there are I have 3 autistic grandchildren, 2 in Massachusetts and 1 out here, but they're all extremely bright. They just have some things that they have to work through. So this would be a good thing for him. And it wouldn't go real fast, but he could feel included. And 'cause I don't think you saw him in the video where I had Noah sitting up in here. And Noah's all excited about doing this, but I don't think Nicky wanted to. He said he kind of shrugged his shoulders. So, well, there's my second call. Time for me to go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following along on our progress. Until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching. Bye now.